Part 1: The Discovery. Lila had always been curious. At 12, she had a knack for tinkering with anything that whirred, beeped, or sparkled. Her little brother Milo, 8, followed her everywhere, his messy hair bouncing as he tried to keep up. It was a Saturday morning, and their backyard was a jungle of old gadgets, plants, and half-finished inventions. Lila crouched near a pile of scrap metal, screwdriver in hand, while Milo poked at a strange object half buried in the dirt. "Hey, Lila! Look at this!" Milo shouted, holding up a small, oval-shaped stone that shimmered with a soft, pulsing light. Lila adjusted her goggles, her eyes wide. "That doesn't look like anything from the science catalog. Where did you find it?" "Right here." Milo waved the dirt-covered object. It was glowing, like a firefly, only it didn't fly. Lila wiped the dirt away, revealing swirling, iridescent colors beneath the stone's smooth surface. It was warm to the touch, almost alive, and tiny sparks danced across its surface. "Whoa! Milo, I think this is not from around here." Before Milo could ask what she meant, the stone pulsed brighter, sending a wave of soft light across the backyard. The grass shimmered, the garden gnomes twitched as if stretching, and a faint humming filled the air. Lila?" Milo whispered. "It's moving." Lila's heart raced. She gently set the stone on a flat piece of metal she'd been using for experiments. Sparks jumped from the stone to the metal, and then, a small, circular portal opened above it. Swirling blues and purples formed a vortex that seemed to beckon them forward. Milo's eyes grew wide. A portal? Like in the movies?" "Looks like it," Lila said, both thrilled and nervous. She glanced at her brother. "I guess we're about to find out what's on the other side." Hand in hand, the two siblings stepped closer. The humming grew louder, and the colors of the portal seemed to wrap around them like ribbons. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, everything went white, and a gentle whoosh carried them off the ground. When the light faded, Lila blinked. Milo was tugging her hand excitedly, pointing at a landscape she couldn't have imagined in her wildest dreams: floating islands, sparkling rivers that hovered in midair, and creatures that shimmered like living jewels. "Welcome," a melodic voice said. "Travelers from another world. You've arrived at Luminara." Lila grinned at Milo. "I think our adventure just began." Part 2: The Portal. Lila and Milo stared in awe at the world of Luminara. The sky shimmered in soft shades of turquoise and gold, with floating islands drifting lazily like clouds. Rivers of liquid light arced through the air, and strange creatures with crystalline wings fluttered around them, leaving trails of sparkling dust. The melodic voice belonged to a tall, gentle creature with translucent skin and glowing eyes. It radiated warmth and kindness. "I am Solari," it said, bowing slightly. "You have crossed the threshold of the portal, and now you stand in a world where light is alive. Few from other realms can see Luminara, and even fewer are invited to walk upon it." Milo's jaw dropped. "You mean, not everyone can come here?" Solari smiled. "Only those whose hearts are curious and brave enough to find the portal of discovery." Lila glanced down at the glowing stone they had brought with them. "So, this stone?" "Yes," Solari replied. "It is a fragment of the core of light, scattered across worlds. It calls those who can help restore our fading light." "Fading light?" Lila asked, her curiosity shifting to concern. "Yes," Solari said, gesturing to the horizon. "Luminara thrives on radiant energy, but a shadow has begun to spread across our skies, dimming the islands and draining the rivers. If we do not act, the light may vanish entirely." Milo gulped. "So, we have to help?" Solari nodded. "You do not have to face this alone. My people, the Glimmerons, will guide you." Just then, a group of small, glowing creatures emerged. They had round, floating bodies, delicate wings, and eyes that sparkled like stars. One of them, slightly larger than the others, hovered forward. "I'm Lyra," it said in a musical voice. "We'll help you navigate Luminara and teach you how to harness the light." Lila knelt to get closer to Milo. "We need to stick together," she whispered. Milo nodded, his wide eyes reflecting the glowing rivers around them. Lyra darted ahead, leaving a trail of silver sparkles. "Follow me. First, we must reach the Bridge of Radiance. It will take us closer to the core." The siblings followed, stepping onto floating platforms that glimmered beneath their feet. Each step sent ripples of light across the path, as if Luminara itself was welcoming them. Milo reached for Lila's hand and squeezed tightly. "Do you think we're ready for this?" Lila smiled, feeling both nervous and exhilarated. "We'll figure it out. Together." As the floating islands shifted with the gentle wind, the portal behind them began to shimmer faintly, as if watching, waiting for their return. Whatever awaited them ahead, mysteries, challenges, and wonders, they knew one thing: their ordinary backyard adventures had just become extraordinary. And so, hand in hand, the siblings ventured deeper into the luminous world of Luminara, their hearts racing with the thrill of discovery. Part 3, the challenge. The Bridge of Radiance stretched out before Lila and Milo, glowing beneath their feet like a pathway of liquid stars. The siblings followed Lyra across, marveling at the rivers of light that floated beside them, humming softly as if whispering secrets of Luminara. But as they reached the other side, a shadow swept across the sky, dimming the light. The sparkling rivers flickered, and the floating islands trembled slightly. Milo clutched Lila's sleeve. "What's happening?" he asked, his voice small. Lyra hovered closer. "That is the gloom," she said, her wings flickering nervously. "It spreads darkness wherever it travels. We must reach the core of light before it consumes all of Luminara." Lila frowned, tightening her grip on the glowing stone. "How do we stop it?" Before Lyra could answer, a figure appeared from the shadows, a creature tall and lean, with a cloak that seemed woven from midnight itself. Its eyes glowed faintly red. "So, you are the travelers who dare cross into Luminara," it said, voice echoing like distant thunder. "The light you seek is not easily restored. Only those who prove their courage may approach the core." Milo gulped and stepped closer to Lila. "Prove our courage?" The shadowy figure nodded. "You must each face a trial. Only then will the path to the core be revealed." Lila exchanged a glance with Milo. "We can do this," she whispered. Milo nodded, though his legs felt like jelly. Lyra led them to the first trial, a garden of floating crystal flowers, each glowing in vibrant colors. "This is the trial of wisdom," Lyra explained. "The flowers respond to thought and memory. You must choose the one that holds the key to restoring Luminara's light." Lila focused, thinking of the brightest memory she could recall, the day she and Milo built their first backyard telescope. She closed her eyes and reached for a golden crystal at the center of the garden. It pulsed warmly in her hand. Milo hesitated. He looked around at the shimmering flowers, then thought of the first time he had helped Lila fix a broken robot, when they had laughed until they cried. Slowly, he reached for a silver blue flower. It glowed softly and lifted gently into his hands. The shadowy figure nodded, impressed. "Your hearts are pure. The next trial awaits." The second trial was the trial of bravery, a cavern where the rivers of light vanished, replaced by swirling darkness. Strange whispers echoed all around. Lila and Milo held hands tightly, stepping carefully through the gloom. Milo's voice quivered. I can't see anything." Lila squeezed his hand. "It's okay, Milo. We just need to keep moving. Together." Step by step, their courage lit the path, the darkness retreating with every determined step. When they emerged, the shadowy figure bowed. You have passed the trials. The core of light is ready to welcome you. Milo grinned, his fear melting into excitement. We really did it. Lila smiled at her brother. Part 4, The Journey. Lila, Milo, and Lyra stepped onto the shimmering path toward Crystal Peak. The floating islands sparkled like stars, but the gloom's shadow crept across the land. To reach the core, you must navigate the labyrinth of reflections, Lyra said. Towering crystal walls reflected their images, sometimes moving differently, whispering distractions. Just follow the light, Lila said, holding the glowing stone. Together, they carefully advanced, trusting themselves and each other. At the heart of the labyrinth, floating crystal orbs hummed. Lyra explained, synchronize your hearts with the song of the light. Lila and Milo focused, and the orbs lifted, revealing a staircase of pure light. Atop Crystal Peak, the core pulsed dimly, surrounded by tendrils of the gloom. Lila placed the stone near it, Milo joining her. Slowly, the core's light strengthened, and the gloom hissed, retreating. Luminous islands shimmered again, rivers sparkled, and the sky glowed with radiant color. You did it, Lyra said. You restored hope to Luminara. Lila and Milo smiled, knowing the adventure had changed them forever. Part 5, The Return. With the core restored, Lyra guided Lila and Milo to the portal back home. Step through together, she said. Luminara's light will always be part of you. They passed through the shimmering portal and landed in their backyard, the morning sun casting golden light on familiar grass and inventions. Milo held the now dimmed stone, a tiny spark still glowing. Do you think Luminara will need us again? Milo asked. Maybe, Lila said, smiling. But for now, we have our own world to explore and new adventures to imagine. That evening, as the sun set, they sat together dreaming of stars, portals, and other worlds. Somewhere across Luminara, Lyra and the Glimmerons watched the skies, thankful for the siblings who had restored their light. The adventure might have ended, but the spark of possibility would last forever. The end.